Babymetal are a Japanese kawaii metal band and are generally regarded as being the inventors of the genre and so therefore the first. They were created by a guy called Kei Kobayashi who goes under the name Babymetal, and they're a blend of girl idol J-pop style stuff and metal, so it's this kind of combination of cute and dark. Their visual styling uses a lot of black and red stuff. So they're fronted, or they were fronted by three cutesy girls who were going under the name of Sue Metal, Moa Metal, and Yui Metal, who were singing and dancing. And then they're backed by a metal band who are seriously good musicians generally. So after working with several different backing configurations, they now seem to have settled on a permanent backing band that's called the Kami Band. They spent a few years doing songs about kind of general life, pop positivity, the kind of things that you might expect from a J-pop band. They're probably most famous for the track "Gimme Chocolate." In 2018, Yui Metal withdrew due to health problems, so now is generally replaced by a third dancer on stage in a rotation basis. And they have a kind of curious lore that goes with them. Lore being L-O-R-E, and they claim they're on a mission from the fox god, and this started by a misinterpretation of the classic heavy metal hand sign of Horns of the Devil, and they thought that it was a fox sign, and so they latched onto this idea of a fox god. They have released several albums so far, 4. Hi, my name's Dan. So if this is your first encounter with me on this channel, welcome. Nice to see you. Most of my channel is reviews of a particular list of albums, which was available on a website called Acclaimed Music, and it's an aggregated list of albums using critic end of year lists and review scores of various kinds to propose a list of the 3,000 greatest albums of all time. And on this channel, I am working my way through these, and I am a bit over 10% through at the moment. But I take the occasional step sideways to review something else, and this is one of those. So this is a brand new release, and as I do this, this was released yesterday, so I'm hot off the press with this, which is most unlike me. So I've been a mild fan of Babymetal for a few years. I came across their track "Gimme Chocolate" 2 or 3 years back, just when I was idly typing stuff into YouTube looking for exploring the edges of strange metal, and came across kawaii metal and Babymetal as part of that. So I've been kind of anticipating. I knew that this new album was coming up. I'm doing new album reviews for albums that I particularly kind of have anticipated. This new album's a concept album. It seems to be about the concept of multiple worlds. I'm not entirely sure their promotion material seems a bit confusing to me. I don't know if that's partly deliberate or if that's just to do with a translation barrier, or a cultural barrier possibly, because they're very much focused on their Japanese audience, I think. I might be wrong on that. So apparently the name of the album, which is the other one, so they refer to, apparently the one is the name for their fan base, in fact possibly their fan club, which is supposedly very diverse. But also the one might be the name of, again, from their promotional material, a little bit hard to pick up, but it might be the name of a live event that's coming in April, as they presumably are taking this album on the road. So stylistically, it's a mixture of things. There's quite an element of J-pop, so Japanese kind of teeny pop stuff. mixed with hard melodic rock of a kind of stadium variety, but also with quite a lot of metal, which I would say predominantly is. I'm not very good at the different genres of metal, but I would claim that most of this is speed metal. It kind of moves quite quickly on, and the thing that seems new to them from my past experience of them is there's quite a distinct presence of electronic stuff in here as well. So there's quite a lot of electronic sounds going on, and it tends to be sometimes at the same time as the kind of metal backing, but sometimes it kind of slips into a more kind of pop electronic kind of thing, and it dips around between the different styles. The vocals are mostly in Japanese. They're clear, so not distorted, not growling, definitely kind of pop style vocals with harmonies at times. There are occasional bits that are in English. The words that are in English are fairly banal, just kind of very kind of straightforward and not particularly deep in any way, and I'm guessing they're probably the same in Japanese. And the overall effect is kind of this kind of clear vocals that floats over the top of this metal backing, and I think that the possibility of this was probably led a few years ago by the band Evanescence, who had a female vocal over a kind of hard rock metal backing, which was a nice combination, and I quite like it as a combination here as well. Now, there's something odd with the recording that I'm finding irritating with this. I don't know if this is something through. So I've listened twice, but both times have been through Spotify. I've tried to listen a bit through Apple Music as well. I've not. So I've only been listening to it streaming. I haven't bought a copy of this album. But the thing with the recording is that it feels like it's topping out in the kind of louder bits, and it might be that things are overdriven, and so you're getting a bit of distortion, but it's possibly more that it's just very heavily compressed so that it doesn't go too far over the capabilities. It might just be pushing the edges of MP3, which is obviously what's been used here. So I don't know if that would be better if I actually got a CD copy and played it. Don't know. Mostly this sounds like J-pop with metal backing. I would say it quite often has kind of this feeling of chord sequences and stuff, which isn't necessarily what all metal is like. Sometimes it seems more like the other way around. There are bits where it kind of feels more like the musical structure is more metal, and that's particularly true in the instrumental passages, and there's quite a few good ones of those with where it kicks into kind of full metal mode. Just to pick out a few tracks individually, so there's track Mirror Mirror, has some nice odd changes in bar times and the length of bars through it, and a bit of complexity in the rhythms there. Metalism, it's about in the middle. I really like it. It's less metal than some of the other tracks. It's got more of a kind of electronic with an Arabic feel to it, and they've done that pretty well. And then the last track is called The Legend, which is more of a stadium anthem rock than metal, I would say. In general, mostly when I do these reviews, I try and do as much as possible kind of in isolation from the context, but I do sometimes feel the need to bring in some context. In this occasion, I think that the context for me that's interesting is that it's less frivolous and less kind of whimsical than their previous stuff. It's kind of more based on this fantasy idea of whatever it is, multiple worlds, etc., and is less based on ideas like give me chocolate or etc., which may be a shame. Because that was a certain attraction to Babymetal, but maybe they've outgrown that, and I can see how that might be right. It does have its own kind of bonkers. I mean, they are there's a kind of craziness to the whole thing, and then they do this kind of fantasy idea of the fox god. Oh, well, whilst you can see me, I'm going to do the thing with that's the kind of horns of the devil symbol, and they mistook that for being that, which is a kind of fox symbol, and they latched onto that, and that's now the symbol that is used by the crowds in the audience at their gigs, which is the fox god. And they've got this whole mythos that they've been commissioned by the fox god. They've got this mission that they're on. They've been called into this, and etc. And I hope they're not taking that hugely seriously. I think it's just part of the whole bonkers package of this thing. So overall, it wasn't quite what I was expecting from the past of Babymetal. Maybe that's a good thing. I still did like it quite a bit. I was a bit irritated by the recording issue I talked about. It's a strange mixture. And it's the kind of mixture that maybe some people would really find difficult. I think in general there are some metal fans who find Babymetal to be, it's kind of feeling like it's trivializing their domain. I don't think that's true. I think that it's kind of forming this curious bridge between two worlds, and it's just, it feels like it's bonkers that it basically works. So I quite like it. If you've got an opinion, I'd love to hear from you, so please write your opinions in the comments box in English, please. I don't understand Japanese or any other language, really. And that's it from me for now.